Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and I'm talking about games that are checked out from the Dice Tower library, and today we're talking about Dice Tower Cruise 2024. So if you're watching this, the Dice Tower Cruise, which we run every year, and you should consider coming on, a fantastic time, which had about 800 people, well, from our group in there, and I don't know how many of those people were checking out games at any given point, but there was a lot of games being played. This was over the course of 7 days, and was out of about 2,100 games or so. And so lots of different factors go into a count here. And so what I thought I would do is I'd talk about the top 15 checked out games. Well, 16 because there's a tie for 15th place. And then I'll get some other interesting things that I noticed about different games that were checked out. There was a lot of games checked out and a ton of things being played. So number 15, or a tie for number 15, which is the White Castle and Ancient Knowledge. So the White Castle from DeVere, this is a small box game. DeVere games seem to have this really, when they come out, they have a strong showing, like Red Cathedral was very popular and so on and so forth. This one is very popular. It's interesting to me that these games don't ever seem to hit the People's Choice Top 100. Maybe they will. Maybe they're moving up there. We'll have to keep an eye on them. But the White Castle, very popular. And Ancient Knowledge from Yellow. Now, I think Z having it so high in his top 10 definitely got people interested in that. There's going to be some correlation between our top 10s and things and these games. But yeah, I was happy to see both of those. Number 14, well, there's a tie for 14. NAR. So NAR, very simple little game, almost like a, is it Splendor as cards? I have to say, this one is surprising to me that this one's getting, maybe just because it's so easy to get to the table, but this one is one I wasn't expecting to see on there. And then Come Sail Away. Again, this is one that both Z and Mike have spoken very highly of, so I'm not surprised to see this one on the list. Both of those were checked out 25 times. The other two, the last one I talked about, were checked out 20 times. Then 26 times, we have a tie here for 12th place. We have Ra, the brand new edition. Well, it's a little less than a year old, from 25th Century Games, and it's amazing. And Ra is a great game. It's neat to see a game from 1999 is getting this much play, which is 26 times on the cruise. And on this one, just really, people really enjoyed this one. Also, the fact that 5 people can jump in helps a lot. And then, of course, Apiary from Stonemaier Games. Never surprised to see a Stonemaier game high on the list. If we had Wormspan, I'm sure that would have been very popular on the cruise too. But we didn't have a copy of that. I bet you that will be very popular at the next con. Number 10 is Veil of Eternity, 30 playthroughs. Now, this is one I raved about. It was my second favorite game that came out last year. I in fact, taught it at least once on the cruise. Had a great time. And also, Z and Mike both also really enjoy the game. And the people here in Dice Tower Studios all like this one. So I wasn't surprised to see this one. Also, it's hard to get. Renegade's reprinting it this year. This one always surprises me. Number 9, 32 times Foundations of Rome was checked out. Now, not that it surprised me. I think Foundations of Rome's a great game. And also, I know people want to play it. But it's a huge box, and people have to lug it off the shelf, take it, and set it up. Now, it doesn't take that long to play. But definitely, there's some heft in getting it, checking it, and taking it out. So I'm always surprised. And also, it's not particularly new. It's a couple years old now, but still doing very strong. Number 8 is new with 34 checkouts. Foundations was 32. 34 checkouts. We had 2 copies of this game, though, and that's Earth. This one's not a surprise to me. It's one of the most popular games that come out last year. Was my favorite game from last year, and people setting this up and playing it. If nothing, I might have been surprised it wasn't played more, but 34 times is a lot. Number 7 is one that I believe, was it Chris and Wendy and Joey insist that this one is actually the number 1 checkout. It was checked out 35 times. Well, it's tie with another game, but Wandering Towers. And the reason that they say it should be more is because Joey brought his own personal copy, and that was played a lot. So Wendy says this would actually be number 1. That might be the case. I have to go by hard numbers here. No, I don't care either way. Wandering Towers, such an easy game for people to play and jump into. Several people are talking this might be the Spiel des Jahres pick this year. Could be. Number 6, played so much. I mean, this is tied with Wandering Towers. 35 times. Played so much that it's so beat up, we're going to have to replace it again. I don't know. And that's Heat. Pedal to the metal. Oh, this racing game gets so much love. People love it. So, this is the expansion's not even out yet. Number 5, a racing game of a different sort. Well, actually, I'm sorry, this is number 3 because we have a 3-way tie for 3. These 3 games were checked out 36 times. So we have Thunder Road Vendetta. This is the first one. I saw this being played a lot. And again, considering how long and glorious and big and gigantic this is, and in some ways, it's cool to see it being checked out that many times. Then that was tied with the Fox Experiment. This one I wasn't expecting. I love the Fox Experiment. This is Elizabeth Hargrave's game. I think I like it maybe better than Wingspan. I don't know, but it's really fun. I just wasn't expecting this one to have such a reaction. People were I saw this being played consistently. So that's that. And then tied with, and this one doesn't surprise me at all, Sky Team. Sky Team has just been blowing up from last year. This 2-player game. You're landing an airplane. With limited cooperation. There's just a lot going on in it. So there you go. All 3 of those games, Sky Team, Fox Experiment, Thunder Road Vendetta, checked out 36 times. Number 2, checked out 38 times. The card game version of Earth. I keep calling it that, even though Earth is a card game. Forest Shuffle. Another game I'm probably going to have to get another copy of because the cards are, been shuffled way more than 38 times. So that's a lot of gameplay there for a smaller card game, but I'm glad to see that people are really enjoying it. And then the number 1 game that was checked out, which was 39 times, one more than Forest Shuffle. Although you might say, there was 2 copies of this in the library, so I had an advantage, I suppose. And that is World Wonders. So that means Arcane Wonders got 2 in the top 10, World Wonders and Foundations of Rome. Both of them very popular. World Wonders just constantly being played everywhere. People checking out the monuments. People really liking it. So those are the top 15 games or 16 games, I guess, that were checked out. Other games in here, as I look down through here, and I know people are going to be like, what about this? What about this? And maybe sometime you can hit me up in a Q&A and I can go through some more stats on some of these. But Wonderland's War was checked out 11 times, but it was checked out and played big, giant time frames during that. And I know at least one person brought Wonderland's War, so we saw a lot of that being played. And then there was a decent amount of Flamecraft being played, and Bonsai of all things, and Life of the Amazonia there. Obviously, Last Light was being played, and Cascadia, and Mlem of all things was being done. So there was just a ton of different games being checked out, and we're just really glad that people had a good time. So if you want to come on a floating boat with amazing food, amazing shows, and amazing games, and even most importantly, amazing group of people, I'm not including myself, the people coming to cruise are so much fun to play with. Check out Dice Tower Cruise 2025 next January. But either way, these are the stats of the games we played. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time.